be Marymount. And so the older girls came to St. Lawrence. And but it was very interesting because I think my first staff meeting I went to, my faculty meeting, it was proposed that the women students were asking if they could wear trousers, pantsuits to school. And there was a big hoo-ha. What? Girls wearing trousers to school? Oh my goodness. And so innocent. I was so young and innocent. I put up my hand to be recognized, and I said, I can see absolutely nothing wrong with anybody wearing a pantsuit or trousers. You can look very, very nice. And one, I won't mention who he was, he's dead now, but one of the profs got so upset, he was just furious. He banged down his books and walked out. He was not going to have any young woman in his class
wearing pants.
So it's really changed. And it was a small body. I can't remember how many students we had. There was a building, there still is a building on Wolf Avenue. It was built especially for St. Lawrence. There was a chapel. It was a very lovely building. There was a residence. And it was a very nice building. In fact, it was really sad. And when you think about it, everybody said it was a political thing. I think they were about $1 million in debt. And the government wouldn't bail them out. And it was all very secretive. At that time, everything was very secret. So anyway, so what they did when they became a CEGEP, the year that I was away, they became a CEGEP, and they went to what we call the bowling alley. And that's where Place de la Cité is now. And it used to be a bowling alley. There was a Kentucky Fried Chicken upstairs. There was a post office. And then there was this bowling alley. And they converted that to our CEGEP. But there was there a Kentucky Fried Chicken in there? No, then it became a pub. There was a pub, I think it was called the Houblonnière, I think. Anyway, there was a pub, so you could actually come out of the door and go into a little hallway, and there was a pub. So that's where, where the Flash Cafe is. So that was all St. Lawrence. It wasn't as big as Place de la Cité, because it wasn't the other part. But so where the Flash Cafe is, and that was where St. Lawrence was. So we were there. And then the lease was up or whatever, and then Valcourt built the building on Neri Tremblay for us. And so that was kind of interesting. Of course, it was built in a funny way. Our offices were all supposed to be bigger, but what was the story? The story was that they, with the plans, they dug the foundation on the inside to correspond with the inside of the plans, not where they should have. So I think we're missing 4 feet on the end or something here. Like it's or more than that on the end. St. Lawrence was the one place where everybody at that time came together. Now it's different. Now there's a Central Quebec School Board, so all the Anglophones are all together. But before, the first time that a lot of the kids ever sort of met one another, really met each other, was at St. Lawrence, because the CEGEP Bill 101, well, not only Bill 101, but it was interdenominational. There wasn't any religion attached to it, so that it was a great experience to have them. But you could see the St. Pat's group, they stuck together for the first semester or so, and then eventually they started to merge with other people.
When did you start teaching at St. Lawrence?
Hundreds of years ago. I started teaching I taught one course in 1969, 1970. I was a sociology of the family. I didn't want to teach. I wanted to do social work, but there weren't any jobs in English or in French for social workers at that time. The Jeffrey Hale had one social worker. They said they didn't need any more. It was the school board, the Protestant school board, or what was it called? I don't know. Anyway, they didn't have any social worker. They had a part-time psychologist who actually I knew very well. Oh yes, when I first taught there was a classical college, and there were very few women on staff. There was myself, there was Peggy Lesage, Barbara Vard came later. I think we were the only 3 females on staff. And what had happened, that was the year that the Marymount Girls' School had closed, and so the students from Marymount had come to St. Lawrence.